Is the burning issue on the happy world of 5FM radio, bringing you hot, small topics on a weekly basis. Your participation is important.
Very wonderful. Good morning to you all. Welcome to yet another edition of The Burning Issue. This is the Tuesday edition on 89.9 here on 5FM radio. And we are not only on 5FM radio, we are also live on our partner radio stations. And these are ZFM. That's ZFM is on 100.3 FM in Kapiri, covering the rest of the surrounding areas, including Serenje, as far as Mpika, and of course Mukushi as well, and many other surrounding areas. Thank you very much for carrying this program live on your platform. We are also live on Platinum Radio, that is on 99.7 in Ndola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt. We are also live on Tuta FM in Mansa, covering the rest of Luapula province. Thank you very much, Tuta FM, for carrying this program live. Also live on Spice FM Radio, that is on 91.1 in Kabwe, covering the rest of Central Province. Thank you very much. We are also live on our Facebook page. Look out for it. And I'm your host, Zachariah Banda is my name. We will, from now on, having a conversation, but later on in the course of the program, I'll give you, our listeners, an opportunity to call in and interact with our guest. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our guest. Our guest today is the president of the National Congress Party, NCP. And this is a party that is also a member of the Tonsa Alliance. And it's a party that has actually seen the light in as far as the by-election, the recent by-elections that we've had, that all candidates in those by-elections were actually standing on this particular party, National Congress Party. And we have the party president in studio today, President Peter Chanda. Welcome to the Burning Issue. Happy New Year. We haven't spoken in the longest time. I don't think we even hosted you the whole of 2024.
No, I think I was here once, I think.
Is it?
Early days of 2024.
Yeah?
Yes, and thank you to you and management for inviting me, and Happy New Year to you, and good morning to all the listeners and the viewers.
Great. Now, how have you been?
Very well. The grace of God is prevailing.
Yes.
I've survived 3 accidents. So
yeah,
I
was about to ask. I'm saying, how are you feeling? I mean,
no, I'm much better. I only sustained, especially the terrible one was the one 18 kilometers after Kacholola.
Yes.
We were saved by the grace of God. Had we not hit into that stone, we could have fallen into that was actually on the day when our candidate Simon Banda filed in nominations. And
so you were going for filing?
I was going to witness the filing in of nomination, and
right.
on the way we trembled and went off the road and into the ditch, hit into the stone. It was bad, but thank God, all of us, the 3 of us who were in, my national chairman, Mr. Samba Mbizuze, and also my media coordinator was driving, Richard Tembo. We all came out with sustained chest pain as a result of wearing the seat belts.
Yeah.
So we are saved by the seat belts, by the way.
Indeed.
So
you're still hanging on to your seat.
We thank God that I'm alive.
Indeed. But the filing in, I'm made to believe and understand that you were key in the filing in of nominations, because obviously, and the national chair as well, I'm not sure about the SG, but I know that you were supposed to actually sign those documents.
No, the documents were signed and sent in advance, and I want to thank MCC Ngambi, Frank Ngambi, who is part of the Council of Leaders. He's also a member of Central Committee for the Patriotic Front. He was in advance. He had gone ahead with the documents, and they were presented, and all went well, and we can say all is well.
Congratulations, by the way. This is the first time that National Congress Party is participating in elections strongly and even getting a victory. And finally, you've banked one member of parliament to your party.
Definitely. And for sure, I have to understand, you people are the new Congress Party. It's new Congress.
New Congress Party. Yeah.
National Congress Party.
Maybe we are prophesying. Maybe we are prophesying.
So you want us to reform to make it National Congress Party instead of New Congress Party?
Maybe it will be a national party soon. You know what I mean?
No, it is already a national party.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So New Congress Party, finally, you've banked a member of parliament. And how do you feel?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank God Almighty, who has been gracious enough. The party was formed in 2003, and we believe that one day the party will be where it is, but we never knew that it would be so soon. But 21 years down the line, I can safely say, being loyal, dedicated, and disciplined to the leadership that you subscribe to provides a way. This victory is not my victory. It's not the victory for NCP members. It's a victory for the Zambian people, which is dedicated to one Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We campaigned vigorously on the ground, and our t-shirts were clad with the face of His Excellency the President, who is the chairman of the Tonsa Alliance, as well as the face of our candidate, Mr. Simon Jehovah Jireh Banda. I want to state that greater thanks would go, and the dedication of this victory is to His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I want to say that today he has proved that he's a force to reckon with in Zambia's political dispensation. It confirms also, if I have to get and quote a man of God, Joshua Ingira, on the line, he stated to say, ECL is a factor in Zambia's political scene, and is a factor in the next coming election, is a factor in any other election. This is not the first time that we have recorded the highest number of votes. The first one was in Kawambwa. In Kawambwa, we believe we won, and tables were just turned because our polling agents and others, of course, the methods that the ruling party uses in winning the by-elections was done. But I want to thank the people of Petauke who are so vigilant. I can tell you, the Zambian people need to embrace the spirit of Petauke. They need to embrace that spirit. So my thanks goes to His Excellency the President, and I want to say, sir, this victory is dedicated to you. My thanks goes to the Patriotic Front members. My thanks goes to the JJ tractor, the tractor structures in, because we campaigned alongside JJ structures in the district, and we branded both the members of the Patriotic Front, the members of the tractor, and also Tonsa members, because no matter the numbers, all of us as political parties, we've got a representation in the country. But I want to state that our representation may not match the masses of the Patriotic Front, but for sure, the Tonsa Alliance gets the credit to this. It is a significant step in the direction where every human being in the country should now believe that alliances can work. You know, the Zambian people have had the notion that political alliances do not work. But a unanimous agreement that was made by the Tonsa leaders, it was a selfless commitment which the Tonsa leaders made. And for all Tonsa Council of Leaders to choose NCP as a special purpose vehicle, it was an act of sacrifice. So I can be able to gladly say, with all humility, I want to say credit goes to all Tonsa leaders, credit goes to members of Central Committee of the Patriotic Front, credit goes to the general membership of the Patriotic Front, credit goes to one Emmanuel JJ Banda, credit goes to the people of Petauke, and much more credit goes to one Simon Banda, who is popularly known as Jehovah Jireh. He's a popular candidate. He does a lot of charity works. He's bought hearses on the ground. He's been helping people in terms of funerals. He buys coffins for people. He takes care of the old and the young people within Petauke. So I want to state that we can safely say the grace of God prevailed because it is within the time. And I would like to say and quote what the scripture says, that the battle is not for the swift, nor the race for the strong, but time and chance is allotted to all. And I believe this is the new era in the democratic space of this country. And to the Zambian people now, you have a direction, and this direction in Tonsa Alliance is the way to go. NCP is the party upon which you shall cast your vote come 2026 to remove the brutal regime.
And the question would arise that how come the Petauke energy that the Tonsa Alliance went in with was not replicated or seen in Kawambwa and in Pambashe? What went wrong?
Well, let me be
with
able to state
Kawambwa and Pambashe.
Let me be able to state one thing. In the first place, you know, Tonsa was about just 30-something days after being formed. Then a snap election was brought. A snap election was brought to contest in Kawambwa Central. And we had to find our feet. And I think abrupt appointments of campaign managers was done, and quickly we get on site. But still, I can be gladly tell you to say, even in Kawambwa Central specifically, we performed extremely well. We believe we won. The only thing that we did not invest in so much, you know, we entered into that election with a casual approach, believing that our friends believe in the free and fair democratic dispensation. Alas, we were wrong. I can be able to tell you to say today I have a scar here. My phone was stolen by Trevor Mwinde's cadres. The cadres who were in Trevor Mwinde's convoy almost killed me. They almost bent my car. There was a lot of intimidation. There was a lot of vote buying. You understand? But I want to tell you that because we had learned their tactics, we made sure that we didn't give them a chance in Petauke.
And Pambashe?
In Pambashe, I can be able to state that what differed was in Pambashe, NCP could not file in. So there was FDD filing in. So there was a little bit of change of dynamics, especially where the resolutions of the Tonsa Alliance was that NCP is a special purpose vehicle. So there was miscommunication, and that miscommunication kind of disoriented us a bit, but we all committed because FDD finally had joined in. You understand? Had joined in the Tonsa Alliance, and a response was made to do that. But we can be able to say the difference, the bigger difference, is the way our people behave. So I can be able to tell you that a similar amount of commitment in terms of campaign managers and others were put in place in Pambashe. But we are looking at the nature of our people. I can tell you, when I was being attacked, a few, you know, these are few cadres who were brought in 3 vehicles. There were almost 30 in numbers, you understand? But we are the masses who are the people of Kawambwa. These people started beating us. You understand? They injured me, grabbed my phone. They were beating my media team, you know, the young lady, Sirumesi, you know, beating up everyone. And the people of Kawambwa, my brothers there, they were busy watching. But I want to tell you that this was not the case in Petauke. In Petauke, when my candidate and the others were attacked, I tell you, who rose to rescue them? It was the people in the community who rose up to come and deal with the UPND thugs that were brought from Lusaka. So I want to tell the people of Northern and Wapula, let us wake up and emulate our friends in Petauke. The people in Petauke, I can tell you, they were not scared of UPND cadres who were brought. Several UPND cadres were brought on the ground in Petauke to cause havoc. But the residents of Petauke themselves taught them a lesson and told them, here, ubupu batatulia. You understand? They stood on their ground. But our people in Kawambwa who would sit and watch you, they are watching you while you are being beaten. I remember my driver, Daniel, he was telling me to say at the point when those cadres wanted to burn my car, they were looking for paraffin and they were looking for matches so that they can come and so that they can come and burn the car. It took one reasonable UPND member who stood up and told all of them to say stop, while Trevor Minde was seated in the Hilux, wanting them to see that they burned my car. It took one reasonable UPND member who stood up and defended my driver and told those people, ordered those people, and he even blasted at the people of Kawambwa. He said, mwalitumpa sana imu. Muri bengi monse na mwimina muleta mbeko barefo kuipaya omuntu hapa. Barefo kocha moto, barefo kuipaya man. Because my driver was almost being killed, was almost being bent together with a car. So that's what happened in Pambashe. So in the northern region, especially Ruapula, the people are timid. But I want to tell you that the people of Petauke demonstrated courage. So I can tell you that these are the dynamics that you can be able to say, not that we did not, even though we used FDD that side on the Tonsa Alliance, that we did not unanimously proceed to say, let's put in the similar. If you saw a team of members of parliament went to Petauke, headed by Brian Mundubire, they campaigned and they spent a same measure of days in Petauke. Then the same team went again back to Pambashe and campaigned. You understand? And they spent a similar measure of time in there. So in terms of campaigning, we did our best. But look at this. When these guys wanted to do the violence in Petauke, the people were vigilant. So you people from Eastern Province, I need to commend you. Because Namubuka, you are showing courage. You understand? While our brothers that side, now this side, they did the don't kubeba. They still went on and voted for SCP. So that is what I can be able to say in regards to whatever. But suffice to say, Tonse came out number 2 that side with a huge number of votes. So that shows you the direction that ECL is a formidable force. And that tells the Zambian people as to the alternative government that will be put in place by the Zambian people come 2026, which will be the Tonse NCP government.
Now, much as you appreciate that you have done very well in Pambashe, I mean, looking at the numbers that you got, the UPND are boasting of the same in Petauke, because then they are, making comparisons with the fact that 4 years ago almost, they only got something like 1,200 thereabout in 2021 for their member of parliament. And this time around, to have gotten that amount of votes of about over 11,000, they feel that they have done far much better, because then they are using that difference in the numbers to state that the party has grown, and the people of Petauke are beginning to buy into the UPND's agenda of national development. This should equally worry you that from 1,200, they are able to garner over 9,000 people within the last 4 years, almost.
Well, first and foremost, I would like to state that we have evidence of even the videos. Our people were very vigilant to showcase what the UPND were doing. On the polling day, they bought ng'ombe za mbili in almost all the polling stations. Secondly, there was a lot of vote buying. You understand? Minimum was being distributed to the people. Maize was being distributed to the people within the period of the campaigns. Secondly, Dorothea was unleashed on the ground. And she went on the radio and urged the people. But of course, no ponta mwine. You understand? Severian Lungu was campaign manager for Dorothea. Dorothea got 10,000 votes
in 2021.
In 2021. So if they got 11,000, then it means they are still remaining at the same 1,000 something. Because the numbers they've gotten, they are coming from Dorothea's people. You understand? We can't underestimate the concept of royalty amongst the people. We cannot subdue Dollar completely and say she cannot maintain her 10,000 people. And moreover, Severian Lungu was Dorothea's campaign manager, and is equally known on the ground. That's the reason why they settled for him. So they only got the amount of votes that Dorothea gave them. But I want to assure you one thing, is that the dynamics of a by-elections are different with the dynamics of the general election. Because those ministers who were unleashed to camp in Petauke, do you know, by the way, that all the lodges in Petauke were occupied by the UPND? Because they brought him in a huge number of cadres. At the same time, a huge delegation of high-profile people from their ranks.
Does that include
all
the
independent
member of parliament?
Apart from a few other campaign managers who had paid for a particular house to rent in, but all the lodges within Petauke, they were fully occupied by the UPND. They defranchised us in that context. So I want to state that there is nothing for them to celebrate. Let them just acknowledge, just like His Excellency the President congratulated us and acknowledged. Let them not massage themselves and say as if it is business as usual. Nakapatala la kulivena panomba bena Zambia nababuka 14 hours tairafika. By the way, the promise was by 14 hours. I've got a lot of investors. That was President Daka and them. I've got a lot of investors who immediately I'm sown in. 28 of them, they will come and bring in $28 billion in the economy. So the Kwacha will appreciate. By 10 hours he's sown in. 14 hours. Now you have 14 hours tairafika. The Zambian people are not fools. They've seen that 14 hours died Africa. The dollar is 29 kwacha. Secondly, the Zambian people are waiting for a mini meal that they can buy at 50 kwacha. Now, on top of that, Marunda pokushisha mataba, Marunda pono kudulisha obunga. This time, Maritantamina to ZNS. People are upset. You pass through Petauke town. A huge number of people are busy kupimisha mapamera because people can't afford. They live on a daily basis. Ngabu kaya butuka kwa faya kuka 20 kwacha ashita pamera. So bare gayo bunga bala tantika murodi so akameda kakopa kanono kashani. You understand? So pamera has become the order of the day. Nampika and petu isanga pamera. That's where we have reached. Now, this was not what the Zambian people were promised, especially the people of Petauke. They are farmers. If there's an area where they are hard workers, And even just the economic activity of Petauke, it's a busy town. People are hard workers. That's why even our meetings, we always do them in the afternoon, because in the morning, they're hard workers. But what happened? They were not given adequate farming input. At the same time, the fertilizer is bought at a higher price, which was promised that it will come down to 250. Nomba from 650 koyali during the time ya Barungu. Fertilizer nomba ya pali 1,200 and something. The total opposite. The people of Zambia are still waiting to have the fuel, because the President Hakainde Hichilema started to say baleiwe bakabola la PF baleiwe 3 kwacha. Balebikira ku 3 kwacha. Nomba pa ili pa 35 kwacha fuel. Ni nani ule isenda katushinga nishingeyo. So those are some of the things that I can tell you, that the Zambian people have reached a point where they are fatigued. Come 2026, change is definitely going to be done. They are changing government, and the decision of the people is proved with the votes that they gave us in Pambashe and Kawambwa Central. The decision of the people is proved with a vote, the victory that they've given us in Petauke. So come 2026, it is the Tonsa Alliance NCP government that will be formed.
Now, tell us the incidents of Kawambwa. Sorry, I will have to take you back, because I need clarity from you. And this is from the horse's mouth. And I have to take advantage of the fact that I have you here. You, at some point, your party was discovered that it had a different list of office bearers. Just tell us the story. What happened? I mean, you didn't have a proper list of office bearers with the Registrar of Society. What was the issue?
It was there. In the context of trying to play Mingalato. Now, the difference with the NCP, it's very different with other political parties. From the time that we formed the party, there was only one president, and that was Cosmas Peter Mwale, my predecessor. He died in 2014. Now, that information, because that funeral, when he died in 2014, the team that was that remained leading the party,
right,
headed by Mr. Ephraim Zulu, Colonel Ephraim Zulu, retired. You understand? They didn't do a media engagement in regards to announce the death of Cosmas Peter Mwale and all those. But before, when he got sick, and he was seriously sick, he told them, I was in South Africa then, he told them to say, I don't think I'm going to survive. But if I go, because he was being taken out, the family called him to go to Eastern Province. He told the committee, the central committee of the party, and told them to say, if I die, elect our founder member, Pastor Peter Chanda, as president. That was his wish. So when he went, and eventually they got wind of the funeral, that he has died, they got the message. The central committee, as well as the membership of NCP, after 90 days, elected me as president. And I was called from South Africa to say, you've been elected as president, please come and take up leadership. So the funeral of Cosmas Peter Mwale was never announced even to the media and others. So ECZ had no clue of what the Registrar of Society, whoever tried to print out a odd list of office bearers, didn't know that they are bringing a document that I know, and the president died. So they brought out a document. List of office bearers.
Yes.
You understand, eh?
Yes.
About the current and the old. So they'll tell you, oh, such have ceased to be office bearers. These are office bearers. But instead, they just printed out Akapamurukaria with 9 names. They even omitted the other name for my now current chairman, Mr. Joseph Sambambi, national chairman, Mr. Joseph Sambambi. Brought goodness, amongst the 9 names they brought alive. And when they came now and said, no, can't accept your nomination because you are not the president here, the list of office bearers that we have, I said, what? That is where now we charged up together with my lawyer, Celestine Kandira. And I was questioning them. Since when have you started appointing? And you can imagine, this man was on record as being president from 2003 when we registered the party. If you look at even our certificate, it's 2003. But now he was shown to say he was appointed on 18th October 2018. Then I said, what? Since when have you started appointing dead people? Cosmas Peter Mware is dead. Then ECZ officials wanted to verify, okay, please, for us to proceed, can we call somebody who is on this list? That's how I called Colonel Zulu, retired, who was my vice president, who handed over, because he remained acting president and handed over power. Then I told him, Colonel, here we have a problem. These people are saying I'm not the president. The president is Cosmas Peter Mware. And his response was, what nonsense is that? Cosmas Peter Mware died in 2014. We elected you as president in 2015. I handed over power to you. And it is on record. We even wrote the minutes, signed them, and took them to the Register of Society. That is how they bound. By Monday, the same day when that was happening, I instructed Secretary General to be at the Register of Society and make sure that they do the needful. By Monday, a normal list of office bearers was produced. So you can see the challenge that we have, that the rule of law in this country has collapsed. And I would like to warn the UPND government, tampering with records at a registry office, whether it is PACRA or Register of Society, is a serious issue that erodes donor confidence. And I want the international community to understand this. What has happened to the PF should not happen to any other political party. And that is what I said. I said to the new Dawn administration that if you want to play Mingalato, don't play with me. Don't play with NCP, because I'm a man of God. And when we registered this party, remember I stated, it started at the church. If you read our constitution, we have firm Christian and religious beliefs. We are sincere. We believe in building on posterity. We believe in creating a better change. We believe in promoting peace, unity, stability, and productivity. What Zambia needs is a productive engagement in politics, not in Mingala Toshiresha Awe, where you want to take over something that people have labored. I've labored for this party. I've been sponsoring this party from 2003 up to date. And I'm happy that now the burden is lifted. We are now in the Tonsa Alliance. We are in this umbrella body where collective responsibilities are being done, and the burden is slightly lifted from you. Of course, it's still there. The burden is still there, but I can be able to say, at least we can be able to say, this far the Lord has brought us. So, doing such things, I want to say, going forward, the new Dawn administration, government, and President Hakainde Hichilema must stop it. It's just that he has never founded any institution. UPND was founded by Anderson Mazoka. If President Hakainde Hichilema founded an institution, you'll be able to know how painful it is to establish an institution and begin to run it. It's a lot of sacrifice to run a political party. It's a lot of sacrifice. So my take is simple. Those underhand methods of trying to take over people's political party should stop. Let's just compete on the ground. Fulfill your promises. When you fulfill your promises, you make us irrelevant. If, let's say, the bag of mimi is at 50 kwacha, what was I going to be talking about here? If at, let's say, electricity, we don't have load shedding here in the country, what else was I going to be talking about here? If, let's say, a bag of milk or the fertilizer is at 250 like he promised, what else were we going to be talking about? We're going to be doing the propaganda just like they were doing propaganda against the PF when things were normal, when the economy was running normal. Today, if you compare the current situation, now here, you are suffering with the gensets. How much money are you consuming? How much money are you getting in terms of adverts and all those, comparing to your cost of running this institution? The cost of doing business has become extremely expensive in Zambia. Extremely expensive. And you can bear with the industries that have remained running. So the only thing to do when you get into office as president is fulfill your campaign promises. That is what even the rapporteur stated. Fulfill your campaign promises. When you fulfill your campaign promises, then you forget about what you will not worry about us, the opposition. Now, even the tactic of beginning to take money during the by-election, buying people, I want to tell you that Chikashu Pokushta want was 20 million people. Where are they going to get the money to bribe 20 million people come 2026? So the dynamics of a by-election are definitely different from the whatever. But I want one thing. It erodes investor confidence because their shares are recorded at PACRA. For us, our status is recorded at the Register of Society. Now, if you're waking up and you find that within the system at the Ministry of Home Affairs, now Doctor, you are stealing an organization from somebody. No. There is a procedure that allows change of office bearers, that allows change of leadership at the Register of Society. We must go to a general conference. Now, for me, the difference is this. I was a candidate in 2021. I paid my nomination. I was among the 19 presidential candidates that paid nomination fee to stand in the election as president. I withdrew the same day with Mtati. Honorable Felix Mtati went on to support the President Ichirema. I went on to support President Edgar Lungu. You understand? We lost. I've remained committed, loyal, and faithful. And I'll remain like that because that's my nature. For me, nobody can buy me. Nothing can buy me. Nothing can change what I believe in. I'm not a person that says this today and tomorrow I'm saying the other thing. You remember I used to say, as long as you called me when I withdrew from the race, and I told you, Zach, remember it was on this forum where I told you that as long as ECL is on the ballot, you'll never see my face on the ballot. The fact that I'm president of the party means that I aspire to be president one day, but I'm a believer and I'm a theologian. You understand? I have studied theology, and when you read in the Bible, you find the story of the sons of Issachar. They said they read and understood the time, and the time as at the moment. The Zambian people, it's like the way we are the Donald Trump mania in USA. This time it's a Lungu mania across the country. You go anywhere, people want President Lungu because they are comparing and contrasting. So for me, my advice to President Hakainde Hichilema is that tell your permanent secretary, especially that Matambo, that side, the one who is in charge, direct in charge. I will not talk about Bakafumba, the one who is in charge of the Register of Society, to order the Register of Society that they should stop tampering with the records because it is giving them a very bad reputation. And how many investors are you hearing coming into the country? It's very few, obviously, because they know to say, hey, you can wake up, you just find that your shares at PACRA, they've been changed. Somebody has taken over the shares. So you can't doctor. That is forgery. You go and bring in a record of office bearers and you bring a dead person for that matter. So I question them, who you? I carry off in 2014. And they've seen me, they've been inviting me as even them. Now, they've been inviting me as party president. Then they remember so you are not the president. Just a few days ago, mwalinjitire kuchitiro na nepepe na karipe paka. Mwalinjitire kwa tise uchite kwa tendi chichitiro chaso. Mwalinjitire kuli function as president in my capacity. Go ku state functions. You find my name there and my phone numbers. And then you come and tell me to say on the filing in nomination, you come and tell me to say you are not the president. Sorry, this adoption certificate cannot be accepted. We took great exception. No one that were causing yakavuruvuru. So,
and it's all settled now.
It's all settled.
But then let's move forward. As Tonsa Alliance, there is a lot of talk around the fact that, Edgar Lungu, who you as a Tonsa Alliance have elected or chosen, whichever way that method that you used, but you still have him as the Tonsa Alliance president. And now he is not eligible, according to the Constitutional Court, to stand in any future election of this country. This time around, with time limited to yourselves, we do understand, of course, that there is a plan B, which has not been made public, but the people are still questioning, why is he still at the helm of the Tonsa Alliance? By now, you should be selling a potential candidate for 2026. Is he still believing in himself, or is Tonsa still believing in this man that he will still find himself on the ballot in 2026? And this is the reason why he's hanging on at the helm of the alliance? What's the story?
You remain the chairman of the Tonsa Alliance. He remains the presidential candidate that we elected as Tonsa leaders for the 2026 election. He has the plan B, which himself will be able to unveil to the nation at the right time. For now, it's like the way we are waiting for. Leadership is about you give him the leverage to make decisions. You are not privy to ask him to say, what's your decision and all those. Then a leader should always have a plan that he knows where it takes. It's like the way we stay in the house. Do your children know how you're going to bring a bread in the evening and all those? Do the children know? You don't disclose all your plans, then you cease to be a leader. What makes God Almighty Almighty? You understand? It's because we don't know. We don't know when the return of the Messiah will be. But he told us, I shall come. So the moment when the Constitutional Court made the ruling, and this is what I've been telling even other media, immediately when they made that ruling, after listening to that, His Excellency, the 60th President of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Chagwa, reflected on that judgment and indicated that we have heard and read the judgment. Now we effect, with immediate effect, plan B, and that plan B is in motion. So the plan B is in motion. You understand? And only him will be able to state. For now, the Zambian people have the alternative political party and political grouping to vote for. So there is a Tonsa Alliance and NCP as a special purpose vehicle. So we have the direction where to cast the vote. Let me tell you how they vote in South Africa. In South Africa, they have the first past the post. Not here. We have the first past the post. In South Africa, they have a proportional representation. They vote for a political party. They don't vote for an individual. And I believe Zambia is growing to such a transition, because just like Botswana, they vote for a party. Then the president is simply a figurehead. That's why you find that in South Africa, it's not so much of the president who is important, it's the party. Now here, what we are demonstrating to the Zambian people is that let's have a mind shift. We all believed to say, hey, when we get an economist, he did his calculation per board, what China graph and all those things. But I want to tell you, if we know, if you tulianishi lutoshi lwabwali nota magraph na tumona magraph eko ya tutwalira valera na GDP na economy pa magraph, the economy is better and all those things that have been done, it's not reality. So now the question is, we had believed in a person that Badi is going to fix it. Badi has fixed nothing. In fact, he has fixed us. We are fixed. I can tell you, every person is fixed, because you are fixed as to how many meals you can eat. So when he said he's going to fix, there was nothing broken, but he came to fix the people of Zambia. And the people of Zambia are fixed to the core. So what I want to state is that what is being demonstrated here is that people have confidence in the leadership of His Excellency. Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu. No wonder he has defeated the UPND president in Petauke. I am the president of the party. I'm not the leader of the Tonsa. So we went into Petauke as Tonsa Alliance and NCP as a special purpose vehicle. So the president, the actual presidential candidate who is standing toe-to-toe with President Hakainde Hichilema in this battle is Israel. And come 2026, in whichever form, President Hakainde Hichilema is facing Israel. Both of them never showed their face in Petauke. And you saw the amount of votes that we got. We were campaigning with the t-shirts with the face of Israel. And 2026, we are going to continue campaigning because he remains the chairman of Tonsa. Whether the Constitution Court has said this is the chairman, we elected him as chairman. They cannot tell us to say you can't have him as chairman. Tonsa is not a registered entity. Tonsa will remain an alliance pressure group that has coordinated political parties and civil society organizations in that way. And our leader, even if whatever happens, our leader remains Israel. So even when we go to campaign, when we say Israel will be there, because even when we go to campaign, there will be no change in our campaign posters. Our leader is still Israel. Look at Mkondo Wesizwe. Didn't they block Jacob Zuma? Jacob Zuma seconded other people. The posters from Mkondo Wesizwe were bearing the face of Jacob Zuma. Whilst there was another person. You understand? But what I'm just trying to tell the Zambian people is that it is now time that we begin to reflect on beginning, because for me, that's what I believe in. For me, that's what I advocated for at the NDF. I advocated that we move away from the first past the post, so that now political parties begin to trend on ideologies like individuals. We have believed in people for too long. We believed in an individual called President Hakainde Hichilema saying that 14 hours by 10 hours, 14 hours, dollar ikapona, and everyone clapped. If I ask you what has happened, what is it that has been done, apart from him pronouncing the free education? Of course, now the schools are clouded, and that free education has been necessitated with a massive infrastructure development that was done, building of the schools by Israel. He can talk about employing teachers, and I know many callers are going to talk about that, but those teachers could have not been employed without a shelter that was built by Israel. He can brag about employing nurses and whatever. Those nurses would have not been employed if Israel had not embarked on building over 650 hospitals, upgrading the level 1 hospitals. So the question is, whatever President Hakainde Hichilema would like to talk about, it was necessitated, and the environment, the enabling environment was created by Israel. So my take is simple. We are set as Tonsa, and nobody, and I want to warn again, Honorable Cornelia Smith, if you understand the democratic tenets in the country, if you love that democracy must continue to prevail in the country, don't tell us who we should associate with. Don't ask us who we should be able to declare to say is our leader. For now, Israel is our leader. Israel was elected by the Tonsa Council of Leaders. Israel was announced at the launch of Tonsa as the presidential candidate. That was before the Concord judgment. So you cannot tell us to say whoever we are banning, whoever says this and all those who face the law. You understand? We understand our rights. We understand our law. The same way you hired Chizombwe to go and petition the Concord. Today, the Pandora box has been opened. Concord clearly declared that they can change their decisions if we produce facts. And I know our lawyers, I'm sure they are working on the facts to look at that judgment. Because the judgment is inconsistent with the law. He was eligible in 2021. Now, who changes the law? If maybe I may question the lawyers, imomema lawyers, my mbuya okukura's last president, I want to speak to you now. Wamena wachinja malamulo ni ndani? Is it the Concord or it is Parliament? Because what has changed between 2021 now? Was there any constitutional amendment that affected the law that somebody that was considered eligible? Because me, what I know is that the law development agency, is supposed immediate constitutional court makes the pronouncement. They are supposed to quickly effect into that and push it to Parliament. So when these 5 judgments were done, why is the Zambia Law Development Agency not take those changes as law into Parliament, and then Parliament in accordance amends the constitution accordingly? Now we have a situation with the institutions of governance that we have in the country. Immediately the judges make a pronouncement. The Zambia Law Development, I don't know whether you call it Law Development Agency, has a duty to begin to work on those and take them into Parliament and make sure that the constitution is amended accordingly. Now, for the constitutional court judges to come and just say he was eligible then, but is not eligible now because we have said so.
It was errored to say that he was eligible in 2021. It's an error that the court discovered occurred. But suffice to say, the point here is, going into 2026, your chairman and presidential candidate is not eligible to stand for the 2026 elections. Are there any discussions within the Tonsa Alliance, if you may be able to disclose, on the alternative candidate?
That's a plan B. That's a plan B which is in
his head.
Simple. The one with a plan B is ECL, our leader.
Now let's talk about the fact that your party.
Let me just. And people need not to worry about that. People understand that. What happened in Senegal? It was a few weeks before the election that the current president was announced. So people should not panic. What is important is that we have the Tonsa Alliance. We have NCP as a special purpose vehicle.
Let's talk about your party, NCP, which is definitely, like you put it, the purpose vehicle. Now, let's get into your constitution as a party. Should you be given a candidate, should the candidate that ECL decide to choose or endorse, if that's the route, if that's the plan B, we are assuming, and he does it a month or two before, it simply means that, well, correct me if I'm wrong, it will mean that your party will have to go through a constitution, a convention, to basically ensure that there is a party president put in place who becomes automatically the candidate for that. You have these processes that need to take place. And if he delays longer, won't this delay this process?
Well, let me tell you, our party constitution is very clear.
Yeah.
It has a general conference, an extraordinary general conference that can be done to effect changes at presidential level. But also, the president has got the mandate. Because I'm elected. I was elected in 2015 or 2021 at a general conference.
Yeah.
And our amended constitution is very clear. It's very clear.
What does your amended constitution say?
We can have a presidential candidate who is not a party president. So there is room for a presidential candidate. I simply
So the president has the power to appoint a presidential
candidate.
candidate,
Yes,
who may not necessarily have to be the party president.
who may not be necessarily have to be a party president. So that clause is there in a party constitution. Very clear. So we are not in a situation where we can say there's a crisis that can befall us. So if somebody is thinking about the crisis,
so that candidate doesn't necessarily need to be part of the office bearers.
It is that candidate. Now, let me tell you one thing. In this state that we are in, the presidential candidate is here and is the one who has the mandate. You understand? In a situation where whatever, you understand, he's the only one that will be able to appoint both the running mate, because that preserve, we have a constitution as Tonsa, which has given the mandate to the
I do understand that once he chooses who the presidential candidate should be for Tonsa Alliance, that candidate will still have to run using NCP.
And
my question then is, will that individual have to be part of the office bearers list? No?
Well, the constitution.
And what if it gets to a point where the ECZ decides to say your candidate is not part of the office bearers?
They can't do that. Levi Mwanawasa was not party president. The constitution of MMD is very clear. It is in similar terms. The constitution of MMD is that FTJ was party president and he appointed Mwanawasa was taken as a presidential candidate.
Right.
So the ECZ, they do not make laws for us. We have a constitution that guides us. So precedence is there. Levi Mwanawasa, he was presidential candidate. But the fact that I can be able to tell the Zambian people is that definitely for us as NCP,
the constitution allows that.
Yes,
that
for us as NCP, we have put the party on the line, and as soon as possible, as the Lord blesses, we will go to the general conference. You understand? And effect those changes.
Interesting. Well,
so we are ready for the general conference. Should we not have adequate resources, we are in opposition. For the general conference, the party constitution has got and have got the mandate. And that mandate cannot be disputed by either ECZ or anywhere because it is law.
And for your party to be a special purpose vehicle, how did that happen? Was it a case of volunteering your political party, or was it the case of the Tonsa Alliance members voting for which political party can be?
It was by consensus. The Central Committee of the Patriotic Front verified through various political parties and zeroed in on NCP. Consideration was not just done on one political party, or due diligence was not only done on one political party. There was due diligence done internally, first from the Central Committee of the Patriotic Front, and then it came to the Council of Leaders of the Tonsa Alliance, and unanimously NCP was chosen as a special purpose vehicle.
What would you allude to the strengths that NCP probably possessed for?
Well, I don't know. I don't know those. It's like our pass exam. They don't look at. They don't tell you why you have passed. They just give you the marks.
You don't go and ask.
What criteria did you use for me to arrive at this? So
great, but thank you very much for responding to that. My guest is President Peter Chanda. He is president of the New Congress Party, NCP, a party that is part of the alliance, the Tonsa Alliance, and it's a party that has been chosen as a special purpose vehicle for the Tonsa Alliance. And it's a party today that boasts of banking a member of parliament arising from the just ended Petauke by-elections. Now, we are also live on ZFM, that is in Kapiri, on 100.3 FM, covering the rest of the surrounding areas around Kapiri, Mukushi, Serenje, and going on that direction. Also live on Platinum Radio in Indola on 99.7, covering a number of towns on the Copper Belt. We appreciate that. Tuta FM as well in Mansa, covering the rest of Wapula province. Thank you and of course Spice FM in Kabwe, covering the rest of Central Province. We are grateful for carrying this program live. Let's now invite our listeners to call in and interact with you, our guest today. And the number you're calling us on is 0955-221515. We lost that one, but please call us back if you can. We would like to hear from you. The number once again is 0955-221515. Let's pick this one so you can have your headsets on, Mr. President. Good morning.
Good morning, Moses on the right.
Moses, thank you very much for calling. Moses, please go ahead.
Yeah, I come from Petauke. Congratulations, Mr. President. You have come to awaken the UPND because they were sleeping, and congratulations for that victory. However, on the presidential party, especially for the Tonsa, I think you are taking too long. You need to let the Zambians know because they don't know. There are those, like us now, I can giving up to say, and this Tonsa has got no head. So where are we going? We plan B and come by the end, we start with Walungu, and the end is Walungu. I think that for me, I think Walungu failed there. I come from Petauke. I'm Mulungu myself, but why can't you find someone else? Even yourself. But if you have that courage, otherwise, if you just continue to Walungu, you are going to lose again. You cannot tell us that the rally has failed completely. Suppose he works on those, promises that he made, especially on the millennium and these others. What other message are you going to have as opposition? So, congratulations to you as I am for Petauke. That's where I come from. And there we don't vote. We vote for a leader, someone who has got a heart. And that's how we love JJ, because he has always been there for us. God bless you. We are listening.
Thank you very much, Moses, for your contribution. We really appreciate. Let's take another one. Good morning.
Correct. This is the hard man, one Mutembo George Compound representing. So,
Yes,
correct. Yes, the guests there all spoken, and congratulations for haranguing the UPND. I mean, in Petauke, because I mean what you did there. I mean, you have sent a message to say that these people are beatable, despite the fact that they have got corrupt money to bamboozle each and every voter. Now, what we must do, comrade, there is continue talking all the ills that are happening in this country. Because just this morning, I was reading something to say that one of the bloggers has missing. He was abducted at home by strange people. These are the things we're supposed to talk about. Let us talk about the 109 M struggles by the UPND president that has got nothing to this country. Comrade, is it logical for one to hire a presidential jet when he's got one at his disposal? Comrade, don't you think that is not prudent use of our resources? We must talk about that. Let us talk about the so-called employment in the civil service that is having a drain on our coffers. Because today people cannot say that they're employing people, yet the private sector is completely collapsing. Are you aware that Pamarat, the one that the one that is near this compound was closed, and the people sent into the compounds to go and languish? Are you aware that the biggest emerald mine was closed and people sent into compounds? These are the issues that we are supposed to talk about. Let us talk about the corruption that is pertaining in this so-called corrupt government. 156 ambulances being paid for and not delivered in time. Comrades, let us continue talking to the Zambians, because this country has been taken to a total political imbroglio. I mean, I am left in utter flabbergastation and perplexation at the way these people are running our country. So I bamboozle. Thank you very much. I bamboozle.
Thank you, Mutembo. Let me take another call on 0955-221515. Good morning. Can you reduce the volume on your radio set, please?
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Your name and where you calling us?
Good morning, my president.
Good morning, thank you.
And congratulations for marrying UPND.
Your name, sir, and where you calling us from?
Mwamba calling within the Saka.
Mwamba.
Yes, I think they've learned a lesson because they were standing alone all the way. So man Mingarato, I think Mwambo is Yangana na Mureshi Mone Mingarato. Continue praying in Mingarato, Kaidi Mingarato pa Mingarato. If we have. Because rather in Naveka and celebrated those victories, not now. Starting Yapetauke going forward, Bakula Adila Feshile. We are on the ground, we are with PF, Tulina Tonsa, that Wakachinje.
Yes.
They can destroy our PF using Chavinga, Nabamau Samba. But us on the ground, you will never change. Thank you, my president. But Mupose Kosana, man, Pamingara, the question that you shall Zaki Ninjum Pasan. Ngakwaya about my president, let's say you don't stand, then you pick another president, then you have some kind of that is not your member. You should look into that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwamba, for that. Let me take one more and then you can respond on 0955 221515. That's the number you're calling us on. This is the Tuesday edition of the Burning Issue. Good. Tuwabomba febe namkwai kachiwe namkwai.
Awe futu wabomba bueno isampa paka woyo.
Basampa paka wetu atasha mkwai. Please konkanye niponeri ashtumfu.
Aho mkwai ashiri futurerando kutira Tonsa Alliance ekintu kyo turerorera 2026 ebudeko obuturerorera obukesa turubura kubuchusha obuturepitamo. Kozi fintu futurepitamo fintu fyatapata tangu vengaranda tinavakwate mingarato avavutekwa vari bomba opposition ikaramba wevakwete vefire kuishi vanhu tofuwe vantu fuwe varechura emkwari andi ndetotera apa karamba kuva vyashi veso vashimapepo vapita Chanda pamutimo ukuru vakwatire ifufuwe vantu pakumono kuti ati avo vantu vachiurisha vapange icho chironganyino chananika nechatonse Alliance icharasa turuvura 2026 andi pakurekeresha ndera ndokuti vaUPND ini wake up call iyapetauke tivachita ligi utotumbio tovachitire league but come 2026 tavakakwanishe pantu ukarifuwe vantu turepitamo nakukaripisha natotera umbeni wenu.
Atashala samba mkwai. Your reaction?
Well, the first one from Moses in Betauke, he stated to say
Moses is actually in Lusaka, but he comes from Betauke.
He comes from Betauke, so he's here.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to state that I think I've belabored on this matter for too long, and I would like to state that I stand by what I stated. The most important thing is that let's have a shift in focusing on an individual and looking at the party ideologies and the party itself. In South Africa, for instance, can be able to state to say people have migrated from just looking at the person, they also look at the leadership. Now, in this case, we have the guidance. If I can give you an example, that even in the United States, we have the chairman who is the leader of the Republicans, you understand? But he's not the presidential candidate. So I want to state that we should all be comfortable with a candidate that, with the candidate of President Lungu. We have put that trust in him because people are looking at the experience that he has. And whichever person that comes to replace him is that person that is submissive, that is able to get guidance and take this country forward. Remember the one lady, President Lungu stated that, you see, this government respected him and continued to consult him on several matters. The country couldn't have been in this mess. So I can gladly say for Tonsa, we have a constitution that guides us, and we stand by our resolutions. And our resolutions for now are that President Lungu is the presidential candidate, is the chairman, and he will remain the chairman of the Tonsa Alliance, whilst the plan B remains, and the Zambian people should be hoping that this year, at the right time, he will definitely going to declare his plan B. So let's tarry here and let's not lose hope, because the hope is that, look, President ECL is out of the country on medical medical checkups. But we won. You understand? We won. And no one I've stated to say we dedicate that victory to him, because the people on the ground there, they are all his people that made sure that they voted for a candidate. Tonsa Alliance is a formidable force to talk alternative government, and it is the government in waiting, because it wachaya twalichita indicated twachitana overtake in Petauke. Now we are on a high speed to get to 2026, and we are definitely going to overtake the UPND. The second one was from Mr. Mutembo, that he said, continue talking for us. Chanda Nonde's issue is one thing that I want the Minister of Home Affairs to address. Please kindly tell us, the Zambia police, that where is this person? We've heard about the missing of Chanda Nonde, and we don't know his whereabouts, and our prayer is that he should be seen and brought to his family as soon as possible. The presidential jet, my question goes to the Honorable Minister of Defense, Ambrose Rufuma, and the Zambia Air Force. As the Peter Chanda, president of NCP, I want to state that we are demanding that you tell the nation where the presidential jet is. And I'm talking about the Gulf Stream. I saw what plane President Hakainde used when going to Tanzania. Is it a new jet that you've bought? Because that looks like a Gulf Stream. So my question goes to Honorable Ambrose Rufuma. Tell the Zambian people where the presidential jet is. We have not seen it. We hear rumors, and we want to get this answer. If we don't get it from you, we need to get this answer from the spokesperson of the Zambia Air Force. Tell the nation why the president used a different jet. When we have the presidential jet, the Gulf Stream, we have not heard about it. We have not seen it. We've been hearing rumors. And this is our demand as NCP. We are demanding that in the next 24 hours, the Minister of Defense should tell the nation where the presidential jet is. The Gulf Stream that was meant to be sold. So the question is, the selling has been silent of the same Gulf Stream, and we have not seen that Gulf Stream for a long time. We want to see it. Where is it? And the nation should be alerted, carry the media, so that if it is parked at the ZAF base there kwa airport, musende ba media, mwe mutulange kwa wati, indekeni ya pepo ili, and the reason why it is not moving, or it moves for any other special duties, you explain to the nation. The nation needs to know. I think this question from Mutembo is very important, and we are pressing a demand. Pamarat, Kajim, and the corruption. I have stated to say the appointment of a director general, and I hope Parliament will reject the ratification of that lady who has been appointed as Director General of the Anti-Corruption Commission, because she's a non-cadre. President Hakainde style of appointing party cadres in institution of governance, especially constitutional office, is very bad. It's a very bad precedence. The appointment of the judge who just retired and then is appointed. Why didn't he appoint, if he's a man that wants to fight corruption in totality, why not appoint Brand Kamba, the one who exposed the corruption within the Anti-Corruption Commission? That was the best thing to do. Secondly, we need a totally independent person, because this is an institution that does not require to have a person that has partiality towards. Of course, we have seen there are a lot of UPND members that have committed a lot of corruption activities, and others who have been shielded. But I want to state that it is not right. Me, I believe when we talk about building on posterity, I believe it is important that you deal with matters whilst you are there than to wait for them to be done after, because that looks like witch hunting. Now, this, all the corruption cases that were labeled against the Honorable Masebo, nothing has been done. All the corruption issues that were labeled against and many others, including the famous one of Kakubo, where even the evidence was very clear. You know, my mother comes from Kasempa. I felt very bad about that issue. The people, when you go, you look at Kasempa district, you can cry. There is nothing much to talk about the infrastructure, the town itself, you understand? And yet we have gone, we have all these minerals, and then you hear that somebody is pocketing a lot of money in that manner. And then he is just from being minister, he remains a member of parliament, he is eating, is coming from his home. What of broken loose? We suffered over a force. Me, I've stolen 28,000 kwacha from a UPN, 20,000 kwacha from a UPND card and a laptop. We suffered in police cells. We were traumatized until DPP prevailed and said, no, there is no matter here. And yet we have all these cases of corruption that have been exposed, and also huge light is finished, and President Dakandechtem has not said anything. The fourth one, Mwamba, stating that UPND was standing alone. That is a fact. You are entering into a ring alone, but now you have ECL to face on each and every ballot. So you better be careful on the by-election that you want to bring forward, because going forward, the opposition has begun a new era, and in this new era, the winning formula will be in favor of Tonsa Alliance under NCP. And I want to assure the nation that we are not going to let any stone unturned, because we know you only have one way tailored of Mingarato. You have no support on the ground. You have lost a greater amount of support on the ground. Many cadres from UPND and others, they are crying. But I want to assure you that the Tonsa Alliance will be an all-embracing government. For you, the UPND members who are suffering, will take care of you. For the people that have been fired from Eastern Province, we want to assure you to say your pride. Those that have been dissolved from Eastern Province and others, we knew that they were given a task to say, if you don't win, you don't win by hook. And I don't understand if they understand politics. The people that have been dedicated, and then you dissolve them just because you have lost one by-election. No, it doesn't work that way. First and foremost, the winning of NCP, which was considered as the smallest political party in the country, you understand, tells you to say, Eko Surre, Eko Panoko. Then it also tells you that you don't own this country called Zambia. You are simply entrusted with a responsibility to govern for a particular period of time, and that is 5 years. When God created man, he said, have dominion over the wild animals and all these, but he did not tell you or me to have dominion over another person. The only place where God has told you to provide leadership is where he has told you to say you are the head of your house. Still, he does not tell you to say you own. You begin to mistreat your wife, you begin to beat them up. This situation that we get where our people are being taken, JJ Banda, do you think that you took JJ, beat him up, take him into cells, torture him, abduct him, and all those things that happened? Then secondly, you want the people of Petauke to smile and give you the votes? From there, you dissolve. Are you
therefore confirming that you are the sympathy vote?
Let me tell you, when you enter into an election, it is in twofold. Why is ECL gaining ground? Why did Donald Trump gain a lot of ground? People are sympathetic with what he was going through. So you get both. Why did the President Dakandechtem himself won in the first place? People were sympathetic with what he was going through. You understand? People were sympathetic in that, even when they saw to say, really, I was there in Mongo when he did that. What he did was wrong. But the charge that was given to him was wrong. They could not have been given treason, you understand? He could have been given either mutiny or any other charge that is befitting, or a traffic offense. You understand? And charged with that offense. But being taken to Mukobeko prison and all of that was a little bit way too much. And I'm not being biased here. So the people began to sympathize with President Hakainde Hichilema then, and they gave him the presidency. But he has not learned that. He's not let go. Just now, as we are talking, heavy police and all those surrounding, just to take it, Tirarungu at deck. While else we have these people that have amassed a lot of wealth within UPND, who are not being followed up. Who has finished the Black Mountain under this regime? Black Mountain Chari Chikuru Chirupiri Chidana, but not Chipwa. Why hasn't DEC taken keen interest? But they're busy with the poor young lady Chawama MP, just because she's a daughter to ECL. So all these are compounding a lot of sympathy for ECL. And I can be able to say that the winning of Petauke, people cast their vote, number one. They looked at what JJ was going through. They looked at what ECL is going through. They look at the poverty that they are going through. So first, people are reacting to the high cost of living. As they react to the high cost of living, they are looking at how we are treated as opposition. Take, for instance, just me. I was there in Kawamba. I got to report I'm injured. Injured. An aggravated robbery has been done to me where somebody has grabbed my phone. Up to date, the police have not arrested that one. But they are mkuchita report. Ne urechita report. Mampangira no mulando. Atuwariba 20,000 kwacha. Joint Richard me, Celestine Mkandida and others. Now, a leader of a party who is leading a delegation in a campaign, then they accuse you of stealing 20,000 kwacha. Where do I get? Where can I take a 20,000 kwacha? But incarcerated. I was only released at 21 hours to say no because of the injury, so you can go. You come back again. Bail. Ukumpera ka bail, ka police bond, ka maybe 12 hours. Come and report by 8 hours tomorrow. They are detained. Again, cautioned and arrested and formally charged and told you appear in court on the 13th of January. It has taken the DPP to do that. Now, all these things that are happening against the opposition, that's why you see, if there's something first that Donald Trump has done, is to ensure that freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, freedom of speech, and freedom of, and he has put a stop to prosecuting opposition members. So the Mingalato thing that Mwaba talked about, yes, you are playing Mingalato, and we know you're Mingalato. And we'll counter Mingarato. The way we've continued, we will be applying the Petauke formula. Yes, you bring in the Mapatiza formula to us. We'll bring in the Petauke formula and we'll continue to defend our vote. And my call to every Zambian across the country, it is time that you marshal up your courage and let's stand up and defend this country. Democracy was fought. Democracy was fought for us by Kaunda. He gave us political emancipation. We have a duty to hand down to our next generation what I call economic emancipation. And for us to economically be emancipated, we must rise up and ensure that we call for equal opportunities for all. We can't stay in a country where the mining sector is given free tax. They are not paying any tax and yet they are getting our minerals. We can't stay in a country where we from NCP proposed to talk about the gold, that the government should be buying gold. Strategic minerals should be kept in the reserves. Like gold is an appreciating asset. When this mineral, just like Kajim and others, when these minerals like precious diamonds and others, when you preserve these in the strategic reserve, they accumulate in terms of value. And in the end, when you have a situation like we have now, where US aid has been put on hold, where we are not receiving any, we can be able to trigger what we have in the reserve, sell, and then provide medication to our people and all those. Now, we have a situation where our gold and our minerals are going. Planes are flying in and out. Zambia no banisa ngwapo for the foreigners. We hear that there is somebody by the name of Tony Blair who circles around. Of course, that is unverified facts, but that's a rumor that we hear. We hear that is the one that is maybe sleeping in whatever, but these are rumors. These are allegations that people are saying. Why? They have interest of getting minerals from our country. And this is the reason why the Democrats are not the best. The Republicans, okay, they are conservative, stopped aid and whatsoever, you understand. But it's a challenge where other people, influence policy to ensure that the minerals within the country are going out. It is time that we stand on our own. We have a lot of resources. So my call to the Zambian people is that please don't get a one kwacha and eat. Remember how Michael Sata came to form government. It was a don't come over attitude. The people of Petauke demonstrated, and that's a Petauke formula, I'm telling you. They come to bring, when you go in the booth, nobody should lie to you. Tamwa kamera yako atu muntu ala ishiba. Baleta fe muntu aisa, baleta majanka wako mkuchuboda, vese mkula mitinya. Yo! I have come from the street and I know all the boys that these people get from whatever. And our fellow boys were saying, oh, boss now was saying, I want to pass so. But we are peaceful. President Edgar Chagwarungu has told us to remain peaceful. He has told us to remain peaceful. And I believe from the NCP angle, we believe in promoting peace, unity, stability, and production. Now, the last one. People have stated, some stated to say the hope is in Tonsa, the real hope in Tonsa as a opposition. It's a wake-up call. I want to say about some Pakovati. Yes, the Zambian people, you need to know that in terms of direction, we have provided. In terms of direction, we have provided. So do not be worried about Moses' issue to say, no, we don't trust Lungu. And all. No, the people of Zambia have confidence in Lungu because they saw what he did. Tamware chula ngefimule chula tisinga kulia mwareli yako na ngwe miku ibiri. Noti ya pepo nomba mpanga grafu yako watu okay tien tunue kandoro hapa lunch to asa tulia pa 17 hours so that it covers even in the ubushi kukula nwina pofia menshi.
So can I take the last batch of calls?
Yes.
Let's see if we can take this one. Good morning. Twashibuka nfwe Banda mkwai mwashibuka shani mwebo
Banda mwavuka chani
twashibuka katushimwebo mkwai
awe foto wavuka sebuloli bana kaonga kukabwe mkwai awe nde upa wino tata sesema ndetesha nokuro para umbwene nde upa wino Tonsa Alliance tato turerela pano utumwene pano twani baba isokera Nangulungu taripo, chose tikenda. Nangulungu kabalo tata repo. Epo tulitata, tulekinjo buteko. Na tukosa. Kyonza na utantawira tata. Ubuchushu buli muchalo muno. Tabuwe me. Tata na uchabata tulalike chintu nangu chimo pakanwa. Tulependele na tiste kwa chosu kwetu. Tasaile kwana. Muni barungu tuwale yana mukakoma uishonse. Tuwaleta bridge. 11 kwacha, sugar 13 kwacha, sanyoke kuti nashimwe 6 kwacha. Yoko pia mwafya shibani. Lelo, mutushi na uliza. 26 kwacha bread. Nomba mulina family mweli ya inga, nifiste 2 kwacha. Kionze peta nisabale timona. Eke turemi tacha mwewena, Petauke, ukwela chicho mwakitire, chisankala. Inota turela ndana tutebana. Ngakulika tilungu kumwabona pona. Ngatatunwa ile nani lelo tuliabanzanza. Icho makapi tukarwe impondwe. Naleta kumulu akatuwafwa tata. Mulebomba fe bwino. Mwina kwenye filubuli chinesha. Oepo tuli nama voters card. Na abana bonse nadi bakopesha marriage. Bafuile na bonse tukarumakapi. Chila umo kweta abana fuila umakapi. Kadi urubuli tulero. Watu peshala baba mkukuru mwemu batatu. Twachula matotera mbombe wini.
Tashabana Kaonga Mkwai from Kabwe. Thank you very much for that contribution. Let me take another one on 0955221515. Good morning.
Good morning, Zach. How are you, my brother?
Not too bad. Not too bad, brother Chisha. How are you? Been a while.
Very, very, very much fine. I'm okay, Zach, and long time indeed.
Sure.
I'm all right, thank you. How are you, Mr.
Chisha?
Mr. Chisha, yes.
Yeah. in the first place, we want to say thank you so much for Tonsa Alliance to scope Petauke. That was a very, very powerful win. But before I go any further, let me advise you, Mr. President. If you hear someone telling you, say, Mr. Lungu Chagwa is not popular, is not known, is not loved, such one is a liar. And don't believe such comments, because at the end of the day, they are going to make you to lose track. Who doesn't know that under PF people were happy? We are not saying everything was rosy, no. But people are not suffering the way we are suffering today. To be honest with you, Mr. Chanda, President Zachariah, the situation on the ground is very, very bad. It is my first time to see people feed on gaga. Food is supposed to be given to animals. And someone comes and tells us to say, no, Mr. Lungu made our life so difficult. I don't know if they are leading this country or they were in Zambia at that time. People were celebrating. People were able to eat. And if someone comes and tells you to say, no, it's because of drought, is it not the president in record to say in Libya and other countries they don't have any rain, but they don't suffer any difficulties? It is also poor leadership of PF no wonder we are suffering. That's where we are coming from. The mouth of the president, but that time was in the opposition. So, sir, people on the ground are very much ready to work with Tonsa Alliance. And lastly, before I go, I don't know the criteria you use as Tonsa, because it's like you concentrated much on the Petauke. I'm from Mshota myself, under Pambasha constituency. That's my own constituency. I'm in Lusaka here.
Right.
But it's like the effort was put much in Petauke rather than in Pambasha. By the time they were conducting elections in Kawambwa, I lost my elder sister. I was in Kawambwa by that time. People were not happy with the way elections were conducted by UPND. And I was in Kawambwa on Friday. I think that voting was done on Monday, not Tuesday. I left Kawambwa on Friday. Sir, people were not coming UPND messages. And I was shocked to hear that UPND won that city. It same applies to Pambashe. Like I said, that's my home constituency. People are not welcoming the message of UPND. Now, for them to win the elections, it's going to mean Galato. But my worry is that why did you concentrate much in Petauke and put less effort in Pambashe? The other question is, why not using the same your party to contest elections? Because you promised us to say any future election, it is your party which is going to be used to contest elections, without letting down these other alliance partners. But to make voters in the track, the system of changing the political parties, today we have elections, you use your party, tomorrow we use FDB, tomorrow we use another this political. Don't you think, Mr. President, that we are going to confuse the voters by the end of the day? Thank you so much that we are listening.
I'm very grateful, like always, Brother Chisha.
Thank you, Brother Chisha.
Yeah. So let me quickly squeeze in a few more, so that because this is our last batch of calls that we're taking. So let me take a few more. Good morning.
Hello, Maokatiana.
Tauka. Tauka Maokatiana.
Abanda Maokatia.
Ndine wa Chanda.
Abana Chanda.
Mpasa ubanda.
Achanda, okay, Chawama. Achanda Maokatia bwino.
Na uka kanao.
Nikumvande manga oko koma.
Ni mwebani. Ni mwebani.
Kulabirana Azulu wanu kukawe.
Azulu.
Azulu wanu mwazulula mwana wa chimempula.
Yo.
Lekani tintimulepo.
Yeah.
Ndipo mwafotokoza bwino. Soti amena abantu abayatwa aletiteka na wenyewe wechiwera na kuti uli mbwe uone kana potu wamangani muzi wa kwasu kiwirwa akazola unga pamene oneka kwa kufumira tuyo. Aha, oneka kwa kufumira tuyo ni kiwirwa akuza mtifuinda. nimwalurekerereza ndipo aliuzioneshe kuzionesha kwakuti ngauli vantu vabwino ngako vakuchita koma kupeza kuti viri mukati amdala ndipo muli nyandule ndipo muli ambulo liko muli chinji chakuti vyakita tinganenene inonena problemu yali nayo nini monga mwachitira tete kupetauke so mununja kuti nikunkhala kwa bwino michalo nishi government yokusunga ni bwino yotete government kwayapona yeve nishi yazalirako chiseko yaona monga valalikula ni vinyoto ni vantu lini mungapeze kuti government ili bwino ansa ni no kukuza ni chilungamo mwene kwasumwe muli uko a president wotete akankhala paufumu atatu folo nishi chino chalo tamwazikana na mfuti tambo mmenyewa mutani mukogora tambo noutuka tingayamba otuka vantu wotete ofunika lini pa government na papata akaleza kukamba cha best rate kosa lavida wo akutani manga nichite chinji atakine titusaine tilifosa ngatichiti mweo kwa mwapona mukapona ngati mwapona koma namba bwino ngako pela pamanyata mukayamba ovota inekwaza tonse dikuja nizona kosa fumako kuito chinja na mungani chiteni chibuku mwamene kusate osati kuti amapokomera abantu kutola to vantu tuli kompawa twamezo tu chero na matoji yo ya mpumbulo yakuti yakayaka pana kanyerere kuoneka kana nayo denja ava vantu ava timukwata tomuyakina kai ochita monga akauja kera kwinyirira monga ni matepo ala azatizilavira kuli matepo kwinyirira ukakumya ngati muverenga mahotolo muvota tetirani ngati okwinyirira ani siyai paliye chati muchite mwe muliko koma mukazi mwazi kapaline chili chonse chati chichitike pamene kamene muni pale pamene pano malaiti akaluta ikuponera pabokosi malaiti akaluta ikuponera pabokosi kapena nivuna tivota usita bokosi kapena nkulinaza andinasire pamene pala nanayi kapena funa naza nayi zaninayi pamene pala nayo anthu oteti onani etiuja kuti mwe uneni kawera pa ufumu ndipo idola ikapone monga nichiteni vakwaso imatusirini kandilalile miti yakwaso vikapone monga ni madola atafukumula kuchimuchi vapona mbwele ivo pamene panatamba ni matusirina ave au kukwasa chikomba kuti matole osati muone monga ni matusi mwakile mwe muziva lini chizenga
uruka nthawi kachita monga kachepera ka
ndipo namva chichi
zikomo yeah. Let me take one more call and then we can conclude. You're our last caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine. And how are you?
Great. Your name, sir, and where are you calling?
I'm calling you from Kawe.
Your name again?
Mwelwa.
Yes. Mwelwa from Kawe. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love this country. And the very thing that I complain about is what the politicians they talk about, that it cannot build this country. Because what builds the country is about innovation. Innovation builds every country. Look at America. Look at the people who are rich in America. They are all innovators. But in this country, there are people, even the journalists like you. You should bring people on board like Sydney Mumbai in Prokos, who is able to generate electricity from a drum of water. Who is able to? There is this guy who made a sports car, Daniel. There's this other boy who made a car using solar.
But isn't it that you knew about those because a journalist somewhere covered them, but they are still stuck. They are still at the same level in life. They are still struggling.
This is what I'm saying that.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying that there's just too much of politics. You bring on board too much politicians, but once in a mile, that's when you can bring an innovator. We must bring innovators, more innovators than politicians. More innovators.
You know, I'll tell you one thing, just for the record's sake. Not long ago, I hosted a gentleman, an engineer, who is making fuel from waste material like plastics and old tires. I brought him on this program. I even introduced him to some government officials. He's still there. He's still stuck, still complaining about the same. So So don't blame it on the journalists. Say the government is not seeing what the journalists are bringing out.
Even, when I talk about Sidin Temple, that project he has is able to make the excuses from.
So who do you blame? So who are you blaming now?
I blame everyone. Even the locals, even the ordinary people, they can be blamed. Because the major things that they are complaining about, they are things that cannot even happen. Because if the people are poor, the government gets money from the people. And if the people are poor, the government will also be very poor.
Yeah.
And
so those innovators that you are talking about, the conclusion is they need government help.
Yes, I agree with you.
We have done our part as journalists. I mean, we've brought these innovators to the fore.
But you must bring them on board Konkanya like we were bringing politicians. Politicians are just wasting our time.
Thank you, Mr. Muelo. We appreciate, but I've taken note of your concern. Thank you very much.
These politicians are just wasting our time. What they talk about, they are things that cannot even happen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. Okay. All right. So there you have it, and that was our last caller. I will need you to react now. Quickly, as you react, let me give you a comment on Facebook from Chris Banda, who says, Zach, kindly ask the guest to clearly outline the Tonsa Alliance manifesto or agenda with regards to economic recovery and alleviating poverty in Zambia. If at all, this is Chris Banda on Facebook. If at all there is a manifesto set already, I'm not sure. But please, you can quickly respond. We only have about 5 minutes exactly.
Chris Banda, I'll start from the last. Chris Banda, the Tonsa Alliance will be able to announce its manifesto in due course once we are done with the convention and the like.
Right.
Yeah, so for now, our goal is to mobilize the Tonsa structures across the country, and that is one focus that we have, and make sure that we send the message of how we have come together as a political parties. As you know, it's various political parties coming together, and each political party's ideologies will have to be harmonized, and at the end of the day, we come up with one manifesto, which we can be able to say, this is our manifesto and this is our focus, and that will only be tabled at a point when we know that now we have entered into the campaigns and we are commencing the campaign, and we begin to air the message based on what we are going to say. But I want to state, in terms of economic recovery, we have a focus of ensuring that we restore the rule of law, we restore the economic stance, the economic fundamentals of this country, and put the country in the right shape. We need to make sure that the right mining taxes are paid so that the Zambian people can be able to benefit from government subsidizing on major issues. Because the only way you can benefit as a country is when you have a measure of subsidy on certain, because there are certain things like petroleum products that we don't make ourselves. We have to buy them at a particular price from there. That is the reason why we have the minerals. And when you have the minerals and you are getting the correct tax, we are able to now channel those resources towards cushioning the pain of the Zambian people. Paul Kagame stated that the government that cannot subsidize for its people is killing them. And the government that gives out mining concession to others, it's criminal. So on innovations, I want to tell my brother that, my brother, you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what you want. The people of Zambia are suffering today because they put in politicians in office that have made policies that are not consistent in developing the country. I'll give you an example. I'm a person that believes in renewable energy. I've got a company that began to pursue the setting up of waste to energy power plant in the country that could have made Lusaka clean and better, and at the same time provide up to 50 megawatts of power. We are ready to bring in $250 million. We took this government, together with local authorities, officials, to India. They saw the type of state-of-art equipment that we are supposed to bring at Chunga landfill here. So I'm just telling Mamwera to say, you don't know what you're talking about. It takes policy direction for the country to develop. The young man who has produced an innovation of a vehicle that goes with the FM waves power, in whatever, has been embraced by Emerson Mnangagwa as a government. But this government rejected to accept the waste to energy power plant because I'm the chairman and CEO of a company that wants to bring that innovation in the country. Therefore, it cannot proceed. We have load shedding today because we have Ndola Energy in Copper Belt and other small energy companies, including the same young man that you're talking. So what's the purpose of bringing people to talk about innovations that cannot be sustained by the government line ministries? So when you have a government with wrong policies in place, a government that does not believe in empowering people, a government that looks at the face of the person to say which party does he belong to, just like it has happened. The people in Petauke, the executive of the UPND in Petauke, they've all been dissolved. That is intolerance in politics. You don't do that to the people. And I want to extend an olive branch to Joabi and others. Please just know that there is no future in the UPND, and Tonsa is the future. We will be able to embrace you if you decide to come and join Tonsa. I want to talk about Mr. Zulu talked about you don't close the door. I think I've spoken about that one. Then I talked about the situation in the country. That is Mr. Chisha, that people now are eating gag and all those. That's how you can imagine now. It's like we've become prodigal sons in the Bible who now decided to be eating what in kumba shireri. You can imagine where in kumbanga shireri ore kumba. This is the situation, and there is no worse situation than this. We have become prodigal sons today here in Zambia. We Zambians are not raising up. So when we talk about raising up and taking the economy forward as a people, we need those incentives that will take us forward. Let me tell you the other thing that we need to wake up from. We have allowed a lot of businesses to go in foreign hands, even at a household level. When she can put a grocery in there. So let's be able to wake up and learn the art. People are making money. Today, Rwanda Air comes into the country in and out. You understand? We have 2 or 3 flights in a day from Rwanda coming in and Burundi from there. Why? They are making money from here. Whilst we are watching, we are seated, we are talking. Us, we want to be talking just like Ivarel and that. No. Bring a lot of innovators. You know, what can an innovator do to inspire the confidence of the people when they cannot find an enabling environment to prove their, to necessitate their whatever. So, politicians for time. It is you want to bring people that waste people's time to come and tell them how we can take this water and do this and do this. Then it ends there. Implement. What we want to do is that Tonsa Alliance is coming in to provide a government that will understand your innovation and support your innovation and ensure that you grow your business. Second, we want to make sure that every Zambian begins to think of what they can do to change the shape of this country. So together, that's the reason why we talk about Tonsa. Together as Tonsa, when we form the NCP government come 2026, our goal will be to move together. You know, there was a plan under the Patriotic Front where they were talking about the 5th National Development Plan, and the theme was leaving no one behind. This is the reason why I now agree with the gentleman who said nobody should lie to anybody that ECL is popular. And the fact is that ECL had an agenda with a 5th National Development Plan that was in place, which was indicating that leaving no one behind. And our goal is that we are going to build on that posterity. Our goal is that we have an experienced leader who will be able to guide us forward to make sure that at the end of the day, the pain and suffering that the Zambian people are going through is reduced. We will definitely reduce. And I want to state, it has been 90 days from the time that Tonsa was launched. And within 90 days, we've elected a member of parliament. And I want to tell you that who watch the Tonsa government within the first 90 days, we will make sure that certain things are restored. You know, there was a situation where the civil servants were supposed to be given a bailout package. Today, people are extremely in debt. With nothing. So I want to so to the civil servant, we are going to make sure that we restore what was supposed to be given to you, what was supposed to be done, so that at the end of the day, we begin to take the economy forward. For all those that are in business and all those. We will restore investor confidence and ensure that at the end of the day, there's acceleration of economic development. You cannot cancel 97 projects in the country as president and you expect the economy to boom. You cannot cut down the chain of supply. You cannot fail to pay. There are suppliers today who are not paid their money. They supplied all because they think they belong to PF. You don't do that. When you become president, you sit on the throne like you are sitting on behalf of God. And this is what I've been telling President Hakainde. You are not sitting on that throne. It is not your throne. It is God's throne. And he wants you to take care of everybody regardless of their political affiliation. Infulanga ayesanga ilero katairo reshati mpali zaki padana alaloka o zaki ni mbifi yesterday ale tukana Chanda. So infula tayaloke pamwako. Iyo takwa So God, when he's blessing us, he blesses each and everyone. But as he's coming to bless us, let him find us doing something. We all wake up. So for the Zambian people, it is time for us to wake up. We have a duty. We have a duty to emancipate ourselves economically. Let's look at the situation. 100% ownership of the mine in Mopani was handed down to the Zambian people by one ECL. Today, 51% of those shares have been taken away from the Zambian people without any payment coming from that company that has gotten 51% without parliament's approval. Today, KCM has been returned to Vendetta, when in fact the president at the area stated to say, I shall never do that. Today, we can be able to say the shares that the CCM IH had in First Quantum Mine in Sorwezi there, 20% shares were taken away. It took the board decision by the board chairperson, that lady, to resign to say, I cannot be part of this nonsense. And all those issues, I can be able to tell you, are issues that border, like the other brother stated, border on corruption. You cannot dispose of an asset, even shares are assets. These are some of the things that President Hakainde has done, and he has gone to even hand over himself personally. Parliament needed to approve. Today, when Mines Minister is asked how much money did that Delta company whatsoever paid to get the 51% shares in Mopani copper mine, there is no answer. No man has gone through the treasury. Secondly, 65 million that was collected from Faith Musonda. There was a report from the Auditor General that that money did not go into 99. There was no record. What happened? Dick Simbe was fired, replaced with a person that is constitutionally not allowed to be Auditor General of the country. We have people in the wrong position. ECZ is headed by a cadre, well-known cadre, by the name of Madam Mwangara Zalomis. When the tradition has been judges, impartial judges, we have a McDonald depends with ECZ. We can make complaints and all those. Let me state one thing. Political power is temporal. Nobody owns this country. We all belong to this country. We all own this country. So, Bane, I want to just tell the Zambian people. Muchibe mbatutira tichikwanka bachimwena kumampalanya. Ero, muchibe mbagen tutira tukusushie lungu kwenda mo. Amampalanya ayakweba ti UPND can take you forward economically. You've seen them, and today I can tell you the people at Soweto Market, they are crying. There is no business. The people in Chivoria are crying. They cannot afford to have a meal. So my take is simple. The hope is in Tonsa Alliance, headed by His Excellency Edgar Chagwarungu, and we have a branding of new leaders, ourselves that have not been in government and those that were in government, plus members of parliament. And I want to tell you, we shall provide the best leadership. For now, to the Zambian people, let's all raise up with the Petauke formula.
President Peter Chanda, President of the new Congress Party, NCP, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate that you accepted our invitation. And we can only wish your party and your new member of parliament all the best. And collectively, as Tonsa, we can only wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. And to all the Zambian people, UPND, come 2026, Kuya Bebe.
Well, there you have it. That was our guest, President Peter Chanda. He is president of the new Congress Party. We definitely thought that it was important to host them. We hear the feedback on their success in the last by-election in Petauke, to be precise, where they and their candidate emerged the winner. And definitely, we also like to appreciate our partner radio stations, ZFM in Kapiri on 100.3 FM, Platinum Radio in Ndola 99.7, Tuta FM in Mansa on 90.7, and Spice FM on 91.1 for having carried this program live on your respective platforms. We will be back, God willing, this Thursday with the Thursday edition of The Burning Issue. From all of us is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.
Tune in next week for another edition of The Burning Issue and